back to The Men's Couch, a show about men's mental health. I'm Alex,
I'm Danny.
I'm Dimitri.
I'm Micah.
and today is episode 4, and it is also National Men's Mental Health Day. And Micah, set us off.
So today I decided that I talked to a couple of the men for this past week, and I decided that regret is a good topic to discuss for tonight. And basically, so what is regret? What does like the word regret mean to each of us, and how have we experienced that? I kind of want to like go into like we can. I don't know if we want to start with like personal experiences with like regret. Do you want to start with that, or just like when I say like, do you regret something? Like, what does that mean to you? Like, what does like regret mean to you?
Okay, so I can elaborate a little bit. First of all, thank you guys for having me back. Nice to be back.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Thank you. So I feel like there's two different types of regret that they get people. Okay, I don't know the names for them, but two types of regret people go through. I feel like we all go through regret every single day. Like we'll say something to someone, we're like, oh, we probably shouldn't have said that. Not in like a derogatory way. I mean like, oh, like I don't know if you're talking to someone you're like trying to be friends with, and you like, or like you don't say something to someone. I feel like that's like a small type of regret.
Or like an awkward moment regret.
Basically,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we all experience something
Those
like
are
that.
like mini regrets. I have a lot of
Yes.
Mhm.
I had a lot
of those.
today, actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's like a
okay.
common thing for sure.
I even want some today.
Oh.
Like, I was kind of slacking off this morning, so I kind of had a later shower than I usually do. But that kind of like cost me like, I could have showered earlier, and then
Mhm.
I could have had more time to like do homework.
It's like decision
Okay.
making.
That's a really
Yeah.
good point, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, decision making as well. which
It's like
can
what
affect-
you do,
Yeah.
basically.
And I
Yeah.
also kind of took a little bit of a longer nap than I like. So I kind of didn't sleep a lot last night for not for any particular reason.
Micah. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, Micah snores. No, I'm kidding.
I do have a laughing problem. Laughing problem.
But anyway, so I kind of just like I was like, I'm gonna take a 15-minute nap. My alarm goes off. I snooze that. 15 minutes go by. The alarm goes off again. Snooze that.
Oh my god.
And then it
That's
goes to the
real.
point where it's
That's
like
real.
45 minutes go by, and I wake up like, oh, oops.
Wait, was it this morning?
It was like, so I had my infotech class, then I had breakfast, then showered, then I just passed out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the
What were you, what were
sorry,
you gonna
I'll
say?
go back to what I was saying. I feel like the other kind of regret that like at least I can relate to is just like I don't want to say long-term regret, but it's things that like I wouldn't say I regret to this day, but I'll think about it from time to time. Like I said, I think I mentioned it before in a past episode, like past things that like happened, and then like that person was like no longer. I could talk to them, and I was like, dang, I wish I could still talk to them.
Oh my gosh. That happened so much in my life.
Yeah,
Happens
But-
to like everyone.
That's like
and then you
when
wish you could say like you wish you could like make things, I guess make things right, but you really
make
can't.
amends.
Exactly, that's what I was looking for.
But
yeah.
you can't because they're not in your life.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's the other type of regret. I don't really know what that. I guess it's not really like a word for it, but like that's like what comes to mind when I think of regret is just like, I really wish I could relive that moment and make amends, but
I
you
think
can't.
for me it's I like just to like kind of go bounce off of what you're saying. It's like you wish you could change your decision in the past, but the decision's already made, and that person you can no longer see that person, and that's just like can't do anything. So
Yeah.
it sucks. It's sad, but
Mhm.
You can't go back in time. We can't do that yet. Yet.
No.
yet.
It will happen.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
So, I always thought like regret pretty much meant like something you wish you haven't done that you like could have done better at. Like say for example, you did like a wrongdoing and you have to like pay a consequence for it. People can regret that because they did do something wrong and they're like wanting to try and fix it.
Mhm.
Well,
Like-
it's that, but also like I should have done this. Or I
Oh
could
yeah,
have
don't
done
get me
That's the
started.
main thing.
They could have
Don't
done
get me
like the
started
other
on,
thing
like this
rather than.
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
like, oh, I wish I didn't stay home. I should have done this. Or
Yeah.
it's like that one Struts song. You know, the band like the Struts. It's
I
like
love the Struts.
it could have been me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good song.
Yeah.
Random plug for that. But yeah, but regret is definitely a big part of people's lives.
Yeah.
You know, especially later in life.
Yeah.
Like, especially for someone's goals. Especially like in New Year. You know the New Year's revolutions.
Oh my gosh, that's another thing too.
Wow.
We always talk about like what we didn't do for like if we didn't like achieve. Sorry, I don't want to like cut you off,
No.
But,
I
like-
want you to elaborate. I want everyone to elaborate.
but like it's like if you didn't like achieve a goal for like the past year,
That's a
and
good
you just
one.
like live so much in regret that you bring regret into like the next year. That like sucks to
Mhm.
like celebrate you can't celebrate New Year's because you like so much regret of what you didn't do for that year.
yeah.
That
Right.
you didn't reach your goal.
Like some revolutions are also kind of random. Like
Mm-hmm.
mine
Yeah,
when I was like
very.
12 was like
Mhm.
I wanted a motorcycle this year. I'm gonna
You
get
serious?
a motor when I was 12.
That was your resolution.
That was
That's a
my
crazy resolution.
And did I ever like think of that for the rest of the year? No. But-
Yeah.
But there are important ones as well.
I just forget my
I never even
stopped-
do them.
I stopped making.
Yeah.
I stopped
Yeah.
doing those a while ago. I don't really believe in.
I
those
pretty much
anymore.
forget everything that I want to do like within the year because it like changes so much.
Yeah, it does
True.
change. It changes.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
also
Uh,
like, well, yeah, wait a
I was gonna say I feel like things that I would resolute, I'm like in the progress of like bettering myself, and that like I feel like like for resolution I had a year or two ago, I was like, oh, I want to gain weight. I'm attempting to gain weight right now, so it's like I'm like I feel like those it'd be hard to think of a resolution. I mean, there's a couple things obviously, but it's like I feel like instead of just picking one thing, I'm trying to like do it all at once.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel like I'm bettering myself in that way. So
Like for me, I definitely one of the main ways I try to complete my goals. I have a list.
that's
Well,
one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
like if you have like a note sheet, try to do that. Just put that on there so you don't forget. You know, like especially with me, if I make like a mental list, I'm gonna forget the next day.
Yeah. Right.
But
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 It's just my biggest struggle with regret is like past decisions that I made in certain situations that I felt I could have done better. But and I'm gonna get to this in a second. It's like how we view our like past selves is like we kind of like shame our past selves, but like I feel like at that time that was like where I was at and like in my life, so I made those decisions based on like how I was at the time, and that's all I knew at the time, so that's why I made those decisions. I feel like that's like how you can like overcome regret is like have a more like objective view of your past self.
Mhm.
But yeah, regret like sometimes like the regret can like keep me up at night sometimes.
Yeah.
You have this random memories
That's
of
for
like
yeah.
what,
Definitely.
like what things could have been or like the potential of things that just never happened because
Mhm.
I see a light bulb.
I relate
I
to
see
that
a light
heavily.
bulb.
You know when like
Feel like
you have a
child.
random flashback of something you did that was absolutely so stupid that
Yeah.
you have to wince
Yeah,
of like, ugh, why'd I do that?
it's a past cringy moment.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like those past cringy
Like you can be
moments.
doing something completely random, like you do every day, and as soon as that memory hits you, you're like, ah.
It's
Yeah, no,
it's
for sure.
it's even like the small things like you can like when those like awkward thoughts come up, it's even like those of just like, gosh, why did I do that? And you're just like sort of like going in that little spiral. You're just like, why did I like do that? And you try to like make yourself not do it in the future. So you're like you're so self-conscious about that.
Definitely.
So
For sure.
that's
That
what I
leads me to,
relate
like,
to.
Leads me to like I feel like I've talked about this in the past, but like I was in that mindset for like months earlier this year when I told you about like my breakup.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I went through that, I was just in a spiral of just like because I don't know if you guys. I mean, yeah, I don't know if you guys can relate, but it's like when you go through something like that, all you can think about is like what you kind of just blame yourself immediately. You don't think about like you're just like, oh, what could I have done better? Like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? I was stuck in that mindset for like literally months. But it took me like a while to get out of it. But eventually, I was just like, oh, I can't change the past. And eventually, I don't know. And like they say, time heals all. It's pretty true. You kind of just have to like wait, and then like eventually, the regret doesn't seem as bad. And stuff like that. Yeah, that's basically like what I went through. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Wait, can you repeat that again? Like say like the saying you said.
So like
no, the saying of like how you felt like with regret, like how you felt about.
You mean like from the very
very beginning?
Yeah. So basically, like I was in a spiral of like what you were mentioning, like being up late at night, thinking about like being like, oh, like why didn't I do this, or like I should have did this. Like it was bad. It was really bad. Like
so
I was like, I was like, it's probably like the saddest I've ever been. It was terrible. I like couldn't escape this mindset. Like I tried to distract. It was so bad. But anyways, I was saying and over time, it's like okay, well, it's a lot better. Like I don't think
even if it's like not
Yeah.
in like even if it's not like in the context of like a relationship, I feel like we all can relate to.
Well, yeah, that's
like like just that those decisions that we like sort of mull over in our heads. We're like, why did I make this decision? Is this the right decision? Like how you like it goes into like how you can regret it, but well at the time initially you regretted things, but it sounds like over time like that kind of like you changed your mindset about it.
It's more of just like my mindset did change more about it because like I feel like I said I was really quick to like blame myself about a lot of things, or like I guess
self-blame goes with regret.
Yeah,
and I don't want to cut you off. I'm saying
no, it's okay. So yeah, I was really quick to blame myself, and like it was kind of happening. But anyways, I lived in regret for a while about that. But I definitely blame myself. But I feel like not that it got better. Like I said, I kind of just like over time you kind of just move on. So that was basic. I know you can relate to anything, but that's just like from my personal experience what I regret to the most.
Okay.
Out of everything,
For sure.
Yeah.
That's like that makes so much sense. I think regret and like self-blame kind of go hand in hand.
Especially when it comes to like breakups or like of like either like a significant other or a friend, right? Like we've all had like that one friend who's either just like moved on, or what's the word, like moved, or just stopped talking to you for sure of no reason, of just like you're just like why, you kind of just blame yourself for it.
Yeah, I think that's just like happened to everyone because
Daniel's
I think it's happened to like everyone, like everyone like moves on from other people, or they have like other things better to do, and sometimes people like can regret it and sometimes they can't.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think like I go to blaming myself, and like it's sort of like initially like this false sense of like regret. Like I feel like I should regret how I reacted to someone's decision to like move on. But because you go through like the initial like phase of like this is my fault, I caused them, I pushed them away or whatever.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
because you regret the actions, the perceived wrong things that you did.
Right.
So, and that's where regret can like really get
Dig
you
in
like
there,
the
yeah.
most. Because I think regret also has to do with like how you view yourself. If you're just like, if you view yourself through like a way of like regret, then you can't be confident in your decisions. And like if you view your past self as like, oh my gosh, I regret doing that, I think there can be like a healthy form of like regret that can bring a sense. It was like you disagree with me.
Well, I don't. No. I no.
I
I just
it's
want to hear what
okay,
you're
it's
gonna
okay.
say. I just like I've never had a good type of regret. Is what I'm saying.
I think in some cases, I'm not saying not all the time. I'm saying in some instances, there can be like a healthy form of regret where you just like, I regret how I reacted in this situation. I want to change. I want to, and if I run into this problem again, I want to have a better reaction. Type of
I see
regret.
what you mean.
That's like
That's like a,
more of like
that's just like a glass half full
Mhm.
mindset.
more. I want to have like, I want to have, I want to change my action in the future. But the regret, now the other regret that we were just talking about, it's like, oh, I regret the decision. Like, what was me, sort of like thing. Like, and you're just like sort of, like collapse in on yourself. Like, sort of, you're just like, wow. Like, I wish. Like, regret can also go into like control, like how we feel like we want to control past situations. How we like,
Mhm.
there's a lot. I feel like there's like a lot less control that we have over like just past things, and regret. We can just regret. Oh my gosh, I'm on fire today. Regret can just
Comedy.
like mess that
You're
up,
killing it, Micah.
mess the past up, because we can be stuck there. And I'm not saying like going in the past isn't always bad.
I was just about to
But,
say.
like,
I was
okay,
gonna
go
ask
ahead,
something.
go ahead.
So I don't want to cut you off, but I think I don't know if I said this before on this podcast, but just in general, I feel like I've stuck to this from like things that I've been through. I feel like you should never like think about the past unless it's like a sentimental thing. You're like, oh, back in like 6th grade, or like, oh, back when I was in kindergarten. If it's like a sentimental thing, obviously, yeah. But it's like, so I'm not saying I disagree with what you're saying, but I feel like with the regret, this is like it's a good, it's a great. No, it's like a really good mindset to have, because it's like it's not like a negative connotation about going about like regrets. Or like, it's more like a positive thing. So I'm saying it's okay. But I've said it before. I don't think like thinking about the past is like good for your like mental health. It's like you're thinking about things that have already happened that you can't even control. Well, you could have
Right.
controlled, but it's already over. You
Yeah.
know,
Right.
that doesn't really go in part with regret. I guess it does a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Mhm.
you know the phrase "what doesn't kill you makes you stronger."
Mm.
Yes.
Like, especially learning from, like, a positive way that you can use regret, like you make it into like a positive energy, is making it where you learn from that, you build from that,
Yeah, exactly.
learn from your mistakes along the way, and those and that can overall make you a better person in general,
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
So
So adding on to what Alex just said, like another way you can like prevent regret from happening is like putting yourself out there more, or like say if you haven't done that, you can do that, or say like you haven't studied the night before, try to make like plans to study that night so you don't mess up again from that. Like you know how it works pretty much with all of that.
having a test.
So doing
Yeah.
what you, so basically you're saying like to overcome regret is like doing what you did, what your past self didn't do.
Yeah.
Basically, your past self, like, past me wouldn't do that, but maybe now I can use, like, have the opportunity to do this now.
Yeah, like say you haven't done something like in the past, for future reference, like you can try doing it as soon as possible so you don't forget doing that.
I think regret can sometimes make us like feel like we're chained to our past, or we're like defined by the
Yes.
past.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like we can't change.
Yes, Micah.
Like we can't change because of the past. Like we feel like our past selves like define our like selves now, even though it's not true. We feel that way. We feel
Mhm.
like we're like chained to the past. And I'm kind of going off of what Danny said about like making new decisions
Mhm.
in your future so you can like overcome regret. And I think like regret can like sometimes it can like lie to you and say that it can like help you like sort of like I said before, like kind of feel like defined by your past self,
Mhm.
and you feel like you haven't changed. So
No.
Or, I mean, I can't really relate to this, but like maybe not like yourself, but like your past relatives,
Your
or
past
your
relatives?
past like family, or maybe like because maybe like you've grown up in an environment that's like more negative or something like that,
okay.
and you think that defines you.
Oh, I see what you're
Do you
saying.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, where is he going with this?
You could
But I
like
see what you're
easily
saying.
regret that in
I see
situation.
what
You see what
I
I'm
see.
saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like how like
The whole nature versus
you
nurture.
you regret like how your family was, but you feel at the same time you feel defined by the family system,
yes.
which I kind of want to
Mhm.
say that as a counselor. But anyway, But
Future episode.
family systems.
Hang on.
Family systems.
So, running gag of putting random ideas on the list.
But I think like, yeah, I feel like you can like have regret over that, how your family was, and you can feel like sort of chained to that, like you can never change. And I think regret sort of lies to us and like convinces us that if we get so stuck in that spiral, we can feel like we can never change, like ever. And in the moment, it might feel that way.
Yeah, that's
But
what I was saying about like,
as
the
time goes
That's what I
on,
was saying. Yeah,
as like time, because time can help. I think time can help.
Does.
I don't like saying like, oh, time heals all.
It does.
things.
It literally does.
I don't like
It
saying
does,
that because
Micah.
like especially like to people that are like still grieving things. I don't like saying it to them because like they still need to like their time is going to be different than like my time. of
Oh, yeah.
grieving
I mean,
I see what you're
and
saying.
regretting.
But eventually it
Mhm.
will though.
Like eventually,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Eventually.
Everyone's different.
yeah,
Like, everyone conquers or deals with grief or regret differently.
yeah,
But like, I mean, I'm just saying, also from also personal experience and also just what I've heard of like, time definitely does help, but there's also other ways as well, which
Does anyone hear static?
I do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear it.
Oh geez, we got a ghost in here.
it's gone. That's weird. But
That is.
Yeah, I think
the couch ghost.
and I was talking on my personal podcast about like the past
Wait.
and like how we like can feel like stuck, and I think like regret can also help us try to mature ourselves.
Yeah.
On like the other side of the
Mhm.
coin, we can like try
I
to
was
use
just
like
about to say something about that.
okay.
Oh, I don't want to. You can keep going.
Go ahead.
So that's what I was saying, and Alex mentioned this too about like regret helping you like grow, but I feel like, sorry, that wasn't me anyway. Yeah, but I feel like regret helping you grow in the fact that like me going through that, I feel like I learned a lot about what to do and what not to do. I mean, and this can be applied to anything. It doesn't have to be a relationship. This is the example I'm using. But yeah, I feel like me going through that, I was just like, oh, this is like something I should work on if, the next time this comes up or stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, development. I feel like I developed a lot as like a person, as well as like coming here too. I feel like I've like, I've developed more.
That's what the show's all about. Yeah.
Talking about our personal experiences.
Yeah, I think you mentioned like development because we can like just be so like regretful of our past selves that, like I said before, that we don't think that we're capable of doing so. Like we kind of lose confidence in ourselves because of maybe like my past self would have like said no to this opportunity, but like I can change from my past self. I don't have to live in that regret anymore, and that's so you can like make regret become like use it as like a strength. You can like use it to like instead of it being like this whole big like thing.
Silence your phone.
Instead of like making it like this whole like defeat. I think defeat's a good word. Like
It
you feel
is.
defeated by regret.
Very.
You can make it as like something that can help you become a better person.
Yeah.
Even though like
100%.
because for me regret like I've made some decisions that like I like now I look back, it's like what was I thinking?
Do you want to
like,
elaborate?
I'm not gonna like go into like the details, like at least not in this episode.
That's fair. A
But
different
like
episode.
certain
Fair
like
enough.
decisions that I've made, I'm just like Alex is giving me the look. Like what did you do?
No, no.
That's the
Hey,
curious
wait.
look.
no.
You have the curious look.
He's quite
Don't.
curious.
Don't.
Have the curious look.
Don't.
Like basically I think it's gonna sound broad, but like I made like decisions and like right now I'm just like what was I thinking? I was like, and I can just go into like a shame, like what's wrong with you, what's wrong, like I can do that, but I choose to like to have more of like an objective mindset about my past self.
Mhm.
You look so confused.
No, I'm just.
I choose to have
Am I making weird
Almost
faces?
throwing you under the bus right now.
No, I'm just focusing on what you're saying.
I choose to have a more objective mindset about what I did in the past, because what I did in the past, like it was crazy.
Don't think about the past.
It was
Don't
crazy.
do it.
And also
Think
about
about the present
past,
of what's going on.
I think people are always like, okay, just move on. I think we can, and this is gonna disagree with you. I think we can think about the past in an objective way,
That's fair.
because I think we can sometimes we have to go like in the past to deal with things that are still happening in the present, like still mindsets and like actions I have in the present. I sometimes need to go in the past to like sort of have to go in the past, but to come at the past with a different mindset than I did before. I need to like go in the past and be like, well, why did I do that? Like, why did I do those things
I mean,
in the past?
okay, so to add on to that, like, I'm sorry if anyone else wants to say anything. To add on to that, I feel like I'm not saying I don't think about the past. Like, I wish I didn't as much, but I'm saying like you shouldn't if you can like avoid it, even though it's like unavoidable not to, because you're gonna think about it regardless. But I do agree with what you're saying. When I think about the past, it's usually like not always. Like sometimes it's sentimental thing. If something gets brought, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that moment. That was an awesome moment. But
Like
sometimes,
nostalgia.
yeah, exactly. But like,
basically.
well, that's usually in like a family setting. But like when I'm by myself, I'm thinking about the past. It's usually like a negative connotation
Mhm.
around it, because I'm like, it's usually like things. It's like the things that stand out more, which can be happy things, but
Like
also
past decisions that you regret you made.
yeah. So that's why for me, that's why I say I don't think about the past much.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna be the middleman here.
Perfect.
Both of you,
Okay.
because both of you have really good points. But I think both are good
Mhm.
because
That's fair.
you can think about the past, right? But you can still again learn from that.
You don't want to lose yourself in the past. You
Yeah,
can learn
don't
from the
do
past,
that.
but you don't want to lose yourself in the past.
Exactly. Like you can think about the past and be like, okay, I did this. It sucks, yes, but then I'm gonna learn from it
Mhm.
and be better in the future. Yeah, like
That's fair.
don't
Fair enough.
drown yourself in the past.
Mhm.
Like don't forget about your past either, because that's also
Yeah, the
important.
past can be an important thing, because I feel like with the past, it can sort of have like a connotation to it,
Exactly. Yeah.
or with
Yes.
regret. Do you have something to add on to it?
So going on with like everyone said, like I'd always think about the present, because if you do think about like the past or future, like in the last like scenario of this meeting, we were talking about like anxiety. You can like develop anxiety from like those different things that you're dealing with, like
Mm-hmm.
a test or schoolwork, for example. Like those things can come to factor when you don't know what to think, whether like the past or future or present. Like that's why I always think about the present, because therefore you can actually like get a full experience of what's going on right now without
That's
like
a good point that you made.
being anxious.
That's a good point that you made as far as like how we deal with regret. Like sometimes like regret can like take us out of the present, and we can't like appreciate like what the present is doing us for right now. We
Yeah.
try to like live in the past.
That's a good
We want to live in the past, like our past selves, but then we want to go in the future. Like we want
Yeah.
to like have this like we have this like
Mhm.
expectations for what the future like should be,
Mhm.
but we can't like appreciate what's going on right now in front
Like-
of us.
Because
Yeah.
your past definitely affects your future,
Yeah.
you know, and your present as well. But you can mold your past. Like, look at your past, see what you did, try to like fix it for the future. Yeah.
No, that was good. Sorry, no, that was good. That was
What
good.
just happened?
That was
Yeah.
good.
I don't know. He was like looking at me for some reason. I don't know why.
I saw him looking at you.
Yeah, I don't know why that was. I don't know what that was about.
I was like, what?
Or I can like add. Okay, this is like kind of off topic, but I can add something.
Yeah.
So, like back to what I was saying about like. So I feel like like the worst type of regret, in my opinion, is like if you like go to, for example, like for me, I feel like I'm in high school. I didn't do a lot. Like I didn't go to many dances or anything like that. But anyways, I feel like the worst type of regret is just like not doing it. Like I feel like doing something and then regretting it is like, oh, okay, well, like at least I like did it, if that makes
Took
sense.
a risk.
Yeah.
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 You took a risk,
But
but
if you,
not
like-
taking a risk.
Yeah,
Doing
yeah,
a risk
exactly.
regret.
Because there's like, because now that I feel like now that I'm here, I've like done more like things, and it's like,
That's what Aaron said at least.
really? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. But yeah. So like, I feel like you can regret something. You can do something and still regret it. But if you like just don't do it, that's like the worst type of regret because you didn't even like. It's not even like you like tried to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
Mm-hmm.
it can be scary though. It's like really scary. Like that's that's a different topic.
That you did absolutely nothing.
That's a different
in the
topic.
past? Like you were just like, my past self wouldn't have done this because they were like because of fear or whatever. They were
It's
like,
just like yeah. I mean like well the example I use is like going to dances and stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like I just
So like what Daniel was saying earlier, like you were afraid to put yourself out there in the past.
yeah. I don't know. I know it's like I don't know
So
what
you,
the
you
quote.
regret that.
I don't know what the quote would be with regret. But have you ever heard the saying like it's better to have loved than to not have loved? It's kind of like it's better to have.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's better
Yeah.
to have gone like done something and regret it
Yeah.
than not done something and regret it. If that
Yeah.
even though
I
that,
can
that
see-
doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like it's
It's
better
hard to
to
explain
like
it. Like
take,
put it
you're
into.
taking
Sure.
a risk. You want to take a risk. It's better to take the risk and regret it than to not take the risk and like to like sort of just not take that opportunity. But
Exactly.
you regret
Yeah, yeah,
that you didn't take the opportunity.
yeah. It was really hard to word that, but yeah.
No,
Um,
I completely get that.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes
Right.
sense.
We have all done that before.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially, oh my gosh, regret was so huge in high school.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
yeah, no, it was way worse in high
Regret
school. 100%.
was so huge in high
100%.
school.
There was so much I regretted in high school.
It was
It was so
110% bad
crazy.
in middle school. Like I couldn't.
Oh, my
middle
gosh.
school. No.
Don't even, Alex.
Piss.
That's funny.
Puberty in middle school. Ah.
Oh, what? The, okay, that's not what I was thinking about. But yeah, that's a good
Well, that's
point.
like
That's a good point.
yeah. Middle school does suck, but yeah.
Yay.
You know, I used to regret so many things, like so many, and I used to blame myself for like how people like would react to me or their lack of reaction or what, like, cause somehow I would just like get into like these little, you know how like in high school, middle school, how it is, you get into these like situations, and then but you blame yourself for like the conflict that you're in, so you like regret that you what you did in the conflict. And so those like small little regrets, I feel like if they can like build into like this bigger regrets, like they can build into bigger things that you feel like that defines your personality,
Mhm. Yeah.
if I'm making sense.
Yeah, of course. Because again, experience builds character.
Yeah.
You know.
I was like snapping.
Okay.
Yeah, to be true.
I'm not good at snapping.
I can't tell with my right finger actually.
I can't. Oh, I don't know if that's. what-
You're getting off topic.
I can only crack my joints.
But I think
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Boom,
Oh, there it is.
yeah, it's just. Uh-oh, there's a ghost. Yeah, I just think like just like I can like regret just actions I think for me it's more of like actions that I did because like I was like maybe immature at the time that I would like regretted making those decisions. But I think we need to like have a more like graceful view of our past selves.
Yeah.
Because our past selves, like we were like immature, and we can't like just we need to like have like a better view of our past selves. If we were to think of the past, we don't always have to think about the past.
Yeah.
But if we were, and if the past does come up, because the past is gonna come up, like whether in like memories or like
Or
Trigger-
new experiences
or new
Right.
experiences
that remind you of, you know,
that
past
there's like
experience.
triggers.
Exactly.
There's like things like what were you gonna say?
There's like anger outbursts, pretty much.
The anger outbursts.
I wasn't
like,
gonna say anything, but I didn't want to cut you off.
Anger could be a good topic.
You want
Wait.
to talk about?
That
He's
can
gonna
be
write
next
down
time.
anger. He's gonna write down anger now.
Anyway.
I was thinking about that before you said anything. I feel like anger is a really good topic because you really talked about it. Like
I did.
you talked about like like repressing your anger to your one professor.
Oh, we're not gonna talk. We're not gonna
Oh,
talk about
sorry.
those
Oh,
types
my
of
fault, my fault.
experiences.
For math.
But anyway,
That was off topic. Sorry.
we're not.
Anyway.
Anyway, but yeah, I think like we need to have like a more like a more grace perspective about our past selves because we're like so immature and we don't know everything. We don't know all that we know now.
Mhm.
Because if I would have known all that I know now, I wouldn't have made those past decisions.
Right.
that was
that goes
past
to
me.
anything.
Past me
Mhm.
made its decisions. Like, I'm like different.
No, you
Yes.
gotta go through them so you learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you also can like when those past memories come up, you kind of have to separate yourself from like those
Yeah.
memories or like those past things.
Yeah, learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
Um,
If I'm like,
exactly.
And that's how you like overcome these obstacles if you do learn them.
but I think regret is like one of those things. It's not like it's not totally harmful, and it's not totally like bad, and it's not totally good. It's like it's kind of like, it's like how are you gonna take this sort of.
It's definitely all four of us have made really good points
Yeah.
when it comes to this. But I think regret is ultimately, I wouldn't say a double-edged sword.
A little bit. A little bit.
Would you say it's a double-edged sword?
No. Okay. It's
Or is it
more
a double-edged sword?
the sword is sharper on the bad side than the good side.
True.
Okay.
That is true.
But at the
side.
but at the end of the day, it's still useful.
It's still a
Yeah.
sword. It's still a
It's-
sword.
Well, yes, but also you can still learn from your regrets.
It's like one of those
yeah,
things
yeah.
that we don't
Mistakes.
expect it to be useful because it has such a like a negative connotations.
Yes.
So we don't expect it to be useful. Like how I don't know what verse it is. It's like my strength is made perfect in your weakness or something. I don't know the full verse, but anyway, like the message is that the thing we don't expect like our weaknesses to be our greatest strengths, and I think we covered that on the last episode.
Yeah, we did.
But
Yeah.
regret is kind of like that. We don't expect regret to be used as a strength. Or
Yeah.
we don't expect that.
Yeah, we
But
covered that.
I think it's okay. I think that I think it's okay to have like both sides. Like regrets, like this thing is coming up. I don't want to like.
So it's
Then
like,
we can like suppress it sometimes.
Mhm.
Regret,
yeah.
I think.
Overall, like, yeah, regret can be bad, but like at the same time, I think it's okay. This might cause some debate, but I think ultimate regret could be a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn from it.
Yeah.
Like, sure, in some situations, and depending on the person, they might just sit there and be like, I wish I could do this. But
Yeah.
but if you rise up, which I know it can't be hard for some people.
Yeah.
Right? But if you just rise up, learn, and maybe do it. Like, if you, I don't know, say last year you didn't go to something, and you're like, I wish I did. But then the
It's not a
next year it comes up.
Like prom, for example.
Yeah, well, that's a one-time thing. But homecoming.
Yeah.
Like, oh crap, I didn't go to homecoming, and you regret it. But then next year, it comes up. You could do that.
Have a better opportunity.
Get another
Exactly.
chance.
But
Exactly.
I think regret also has to do with like our like way of like control, how we view how much control we have over our life.
That's also
We think regret is gonna help us control things. Regret's not gonna help me. Like sitting over here like mulling over the past. That's not gonna help me go back and like control what happened.
That's what
I
I've
feel
been
like
saying.
we have like this desire.
My point of view.
I feel like that we have this like desire to want to control things, to have like different outcomes. It's like in like different like random like shows that you watch where the characters can like go back and mess up with time. Like Final Destination, it can like like
We didn't watch that,
control
okay.
like the
Oh.
weren't you watching? Did you watch
Isn't
it
there like
Yeah.
there's like
yesterday?
Isn't there like 800 deaths in that movie? Cause like it's like a plane crash or something. There's like
Yeah.
800. Oh my gosh.
There's 5 of them
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, but we have like
movies.
My God.
we have less power, I would say. No. We don't have any power in the past, but like you said, we have so much power in the future. And is that like a good place to like?
Anyone else got any good other
Do you
points
have
to bring
any
up?
like points to bring up about regret?
I feel like I got off my important points that I was trying to get across.
Who's pointing? I don't know what you're pointing.
Oh, I was just messing with
No,
you.
his
I was messing with you. I didn't like. I was. Yeah, that was a joke. Sorry if you actually thought I needed something. That's my fault. I won't do that.
Okay.
All right.
You regret your decision.
There you go. I guess I do. Yeah.
Moral of the story. But
Don't
Moral
live in
of the
regret.
story.
all right. Anyone else got anything else to add?
So, the way you deal with regret, like, don't try to get those regrets. Like, try doing everything that you don't want to try to regret, because if you do, you kind of get those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Are we wrapping it up?
Yep. Dimitri,
I think we
sign
should.
us off.
Okay. Closing remarks. Thank you everyone who listened. We love you guys. Anyone who didn't listen, we love you the same. But we still appreciate you listening throughout the entire thing. And anyone going through any regret, like I said, time heals everything. I swear it's true, because I went through something similar, with the whole thing. So yeah, gotta be patient. Distract your mind. You'll be okay. All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. See you guys later.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Happy National Mental Health Month.
Come on.
Whoop whoop.
Bye.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.